Call this regular meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Court to order. This, the 26th day of April, 2022. It's 8:30 a.m. and we are in the Hill County Courthouse in Hillsborough, Texas. Let the record reflect that this meeting was posted in accordance with Texas Government Code 551, better known as the Texas Open Meetings Act, and further that a quorum of commissioners is present and established. And before any undertaking at this time, if we could invoke the blessing of the Almighty. Pastor, could you help us?
Let us go to God in prayer. Loving, amazing, wonderful, beautiful God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity you've given to us to come together and to do your work of taking care of your people. We invoke your presence here today. We ask for your protection and your wisdom and your guidance for those who are going to be doing your work. We ask all of this in the name of your Son, our Lord, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. If you follow me, the pledge of America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
All right, thank you all for joining us this morning. Glad to see everybody. Wish everybody had safe travels in this morning. Give me just a second while I clean my eyeballs here. These things become more necessary every year I still breathe. So, Mr. Montgomery, what's going on? Appreciate one this morning.
Well, we're trying to, we're working on this asphalt project, good folks on 15 going into this and trying to get that done, and it rains, and then pull off there to the ground.
Oh, you're complaining about rain? He's up here, he's up.
Not complaining about rain.
Okay, misunderstood.
So, and the other two guys are trying to put together the Huron building, the new barn.
They're doing some good over there, I'm watching.
They got the wiring done, they got the plumbing done, some sheet rock work done. Got the simple team, those two guys are working real hard. And the rest of us are trying to break roads and all we can and lay asphalt where we can. And I think it's,
Sounds like busy man.
I ran 4 pieces of equipment every day. I'm either on a roller or motor grader or water truck or a sugar truck. And I've got more exercise trying to do this project because I run back and forth to get those equipment and stuff.
Therapies. We don't charge extra for that.
It has been a really, really busy 2 months.
Well,
But thank you for the rest.
yeah, no doubt. Commissioner Crumpton, House Precinct 2 this morning.
We're all right, like I say, thank goodness for the rain. It's a blessing for everything and everybody. And we're on 22 working with Texas Materials. Thank Mr. Holden for helping us a couple of days with 4 of his trucks. In 2 days there, we hauled 231 loads of asphalt. And if you figure on rock price base, we saved over $40,000 in materials.
That's impressive.
And we're not even 20% done with the project.
Wow.
We don't have time to go stockpile it, or we're going straight to the road and get turned around, get back in line, and they're waiting. So it's pushing it, but they were rained out yesterday and today, so they said to be back, come back Thursday or Friday.
Those guys are working 12 and 14-hour days, so I'm sure they're glad for the breather.
My guys were there till 7 o'clock Wednesday, and then they got in and they had to go cut trees out another hour and a half, open the road back up. They were tired
I can imagine.
Thursday morning, so, but I appreciate the guys, appreciate Scotty's guys helping us, and we'll be back at it Thursday or Friday if they call.
Sounds good. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hawkins, what's going on in Precinct 3?
Well, we're thankful for the rain as well. Like Mr. Crumpton said, we've got 4 guys over there helping him. We'll be back with her tomorrow. And in the meantime, we've got 2 other guys who've been catching millings off 22, or excuse me, Interstate 35.
Oh, I thought you were sneaking something from underneath
Well,
him. I thought
we'll
that was
bring
pretty
a load
slick.
home every afternoon when we come back. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Trying
How's the barn coming?
to move into our new barns finally,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got real busy all of a sudden, so,
I was looking at the map something. I didn't realize that we are actually in the city of Penelope.
yes, sir.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that till the other day.
County Road 3220 to the west of us, it's the city limits.
Yeah, they're good people down there. That'll be good. That'll be a good relationship, I'm sure.
Yep, that's about it.
Wonderful. And congratulations to your son. I understand you're our first time grandfather.
The first time, yes, sir.
Well,
A
congratulations.
little over a week now, so
A little over a week
she's
now.
almost full. We're working.
Almost spoiled. Oh, granddaughter.
Yes, granddaughter.
Yeah. Bless you.
Yes.
Commissioner Lake, what's happening in precinct 4?
We're changing oil and trying to grease up everything, so it gets dry, we will be ready to go.
There you go.
It's looking out for we have a coat, we need to get out of the creek today if we get a chance. It landed one day last week.
Somebody dumped a dead horse on you.
Oh, yeah. So,
Good.
it was nice. Whew.
I wonder if Jeff Ward would take that one. What do you think on that one? You think environmental law?
Jeff's the one to call me.
He said couches are okay, but dead horses are a bridge too far. All right, got it. What's happening in the sheriff's office this morning, chief?
Well, last night,
I saw that on Facebook. Go ahead.
got into a chase and, then he built on her, so they set up perimeter. Thank you for Tom and, coming out, and of course, Chris showed up with his drone as well.
We had both the drones in the air.
Both the drones, K9 on the way, they set up a perimeter, to were able to capture him. He thought he had a warrant, he was mistaken, so he committed a felony for nothing.
You gotta keep up with your warrants, the rest of it.
Yeah, our stop, towns or fans are coming along with this one.
Look good, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
that. Appreciate it.
Okay, good deal. Thank you, appreciate it. And I believe that some people are probably going to bring some recycled asphalt at some point to make the perimeter around that, as I understand it. I don't want to use any names quite yet.
Our fans too.
but- Yeah. Good deal. Thank you, sir. Tom, what's happening in emergency management?
Judge, we'll be glad to see some rain.
Amen.
Working on, still trying to get the grants finalized. Will they change that system up where it's not user friendly at all?
Kidding.
Working on that.
Some of us are, I gotta print these things off still, and that's just the first part of the application. That's not the rest of it.
Again, I like, Chris and I worked very well together last night. We set parameters. He stayed below me. I stayed above him. We covered a lot of ground in a hurry. When the young man was out there, thought he was hiding really well with the rest.
Well, I'm glad that the commissioners invested in those drones. Thank you for bringing that to us. It was your idea originally to get us in that business, and we have found people that have wandered off. We have found criminals that attempted to wander off, and many other things, including dropping a life vest or drowning a person one time. So it's been a heck of a program. We thank the commissioners for the support for that.
This new enhancement, they're working on this software that's been donated to us, is gonna take it to a whole new level. It gives us the ability that whenever one of the drone flies, the command ops portion of it, no matter where you want it to be, if they want to bring it up on the sheriff's office or at your office or the van, anywhere that's got a computer, you can see live feed with no buffering, what we see with the drone live. What's going on. We can send a link to all the people in the field, and on their phone, they can see exactly what we're seeing from the air.
I think the incredible thing is, you're in a moment, you're flying, you got a screen in front of you, but the ability of somebody somewhere in an office to look at a bigger screen, you told me they can draw a circle or point to something, and it goes to everybody in the field.
Right, because again, you're looking at a much bigger screen. If you see something that we don't see with a small screen, you drop it at a pinpoint. It comes up on our screen as well, and you're able to go back and search and look at that particular area. It's gonna really, I think it's gonna make the program a lot even better than it already is.
Wonderful, good deal.
That
Thank
was
you.
donated by Frontier Support Logistics, one of our local trucking companies.
I appreciate their support of our community. John, Larry, what we got the council? Kevin, what's the council this morning?
Precinct 1 has been very busy here lately, getting finishing touches put on Huron. We were able to complete the restroom refabrication And wanted to put out a special thank you to the sheriff's office for providing some manpower over there to help with cleanup. The construction mess was overwhelming there for a while, but we were open for early voting. There seems to be very good response to that. The public's been welcome. No appreciable problems. Had a talk this morning with the Commissioner Montgomery in regard to the possibility of getting water from the north side to the south side of his operation. And I think we're pretty much on the agreement methodology there. So, just continuing to march.
Wonderful, good deal. Any other elected or quiet? Oh, hey, Philip, I saw you sitting over there quietly just now. What's happening in IT?
Quite a lot, Judge. Last week, we got, some of the last bit of the legacy, network equipment here in the courthouse replaced, so it's on the new, newer equipment. It was just on Rocky equipment. Out at Huron, we finished up the wiring last week, out there. I need to get with, the gentleman from Commissioner Montgomery's precinct to start working on the wiring over that building. We finally got to Palo Alto, which is the new firewall for the sheriff's office. It was delivered last Friday. So that's the next project that we're going to start with, and it will allow us to really retire all the old legacy.
That was great. I know you guys been staying busy and put a lot of double duty. We appreciate it. Thank you. Normally, we'd ask ESD #1 to speak. Since the representative is here, we have representatives from White Bluff and Mount Palm Fire Department. You guys got anything you want to share with us?
ESD.
ESD. I'm sorry. I forget we put you on ESD. I can't believe you stayed after we did that. That's terrible. Yeah, you're not allowed to resign. It's not on the agenda. You cannot do that. So everything going well with ESD?
Yes, it is. We're happy about the fire ban. Seems like things are going very well for the last week. We got a little bit of rain, so we'll see what happens the next week or so. But it worked out great. Law enforcement was very helpful with helping enforce it this time. And I think people are starting to see they can't just burn and just keep doing what they want to do.
That's awesome. Good report. Thank you for that. Angie, you've got something you want to present this morning. What do you guys got?
I hadn't had a chance to come and visit with y'all since the new 4-H year rolled around, so I wanted to bring some things over for y'all to look at and give you a rundown of what we've been doing. Y'all wanna take my notes?
Thank you. Everybody know, and for the record, Ms. Angie Noor is Extension Agent, Hill County. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So the first page just shares the basic information of what we've had over the last few months since September 1. So between Zach and Rachel and I, we've had 208 educational presentations across the county.
Wow.
That includes stock shows, it includes our monthly meetings, it includes everything we do. And we've reached over 4,000 people with that. We currently have 204 kiddos enrolled in 4-H. Which is, we ended the year last year with 186. So since COVID, we're kind of getting back over that 200 mark where we had been back in 2019. We ended with 216 that year. So we're working our way back since we've been back from COVID and everything's opened back up. We have kids participating in shooting sports. We have 60 kids enrolled in shooting sports. We have 29 kids in the sport fishing project that we cover. All the areas of sport fishing, we get to take them out fishing on the lakes, and we have guides that come in and talk to them, and Texas Parks and Wildlife that come in and work with them. And so that's been a really great program. We have kids doing public speaking events now that we haven't had in the past. We've got one young lady that won the Dallas State Fair, one of the divisions for public speaking and livestock ethics this
That's
year.
incredible.
So
We
we're
had
proud of
one
her.
too.
Huh?
I had a granddaughter in one too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Was the captain's speech. She didn't get it from me.
Well,
She's probably better looking too.
We've had kids in food challenge, food show. We've got a robotics program is going really well. We've had kids place at San Angelo this year. We've never had kids go to a robotics contest outside of just a local thing. So we're proud of those kiddos. They've been to Fort Worth, San Angelo, San Antonio, and Austin this year. And our senior group placed third at San Angelo. So we were real proud of them for that. We've had a lot of kids doing livestock projects and different things. And, you know, we do this program and I'm one person and Lacey is our intern.
Yeah, it's like you're letting the intern off easy. You
I'm
didn't
sorry,
let her come up here with
I
you.
was getting there, but she's been helping us a lot this semester while she's been here. She's only here with me another 2 weeks. She leaves me May 6th, so I'm gonna miss her being here. She's been a lot of help.
Thank you for being with us.
But we've had 140 volunteers so far that have helped us with programs and clubs and events that we've had, and we could not do any of it without them. We've got 44 screen volunteers that work with all of our shooting sports, all of our clubs, all of our projects and all that across the county. So those are the ones that work directly with our kids on a daily or monthly basis. So we're very proud to have them. Couldn't do it without them for sure. The next page just goes through a lot of the different things that we've had. County Fair went really well for us. We had 184 kids and parents involved just through our 4-H program, 120 livestock projects. We had 49 entries that were eligible to sale, and we had 33 of those making the sale. So felt like that was a pretty good estimate, and I've kind of listed out our champions and reserves that we had there. But the best thing that means the most to me is the kids that did well in showmanship. We had 7 champion showmen and 8 reserve champion showmen across all species. So that just kind of goes to show the hard work that our kids put in, as well as all the FFA kids across the county too. We had a livestock sheep and goat clinic back in the fall that was all student led. We had 118 kids and participants at that. We have, so every year with the sport fishing project, we do a habitat building project where they go in, Texas Parks and Wildlife comes in, we partner with the Brazos River Authority, and they come in and they make cubes, and they put the big 4-inch, it's like sewer pipe, the flexible pipe, they drill holes in it and tie it to that PVC cube, and we drop them in Lake Whitney, and it's habitats for the fish to go in and live in, and the small ones to hide and all kinds of stuff like that. So that project brought us $8,300 worth of donations this year for just that project. And we had over 40 kids between Hill and Bosque County participate in that this time. So we're really proud of that program. It's brought a lot of kids out that don't normally that don't do livestock, that don't do, anything else, that just like to fish. And they're competing in virtual contests across the state and doing really well too. We took the group out 2 weeks ago to a private lake in Bosque County, and one of our kiddos caught a 7-pound bass. And the look on his face was it was priceless. So let's see. I have 29 kids going to the district shooting match this year, which is double what we've ever had.
Our shooting sports program is incredible.
It is huge. And Shane's not here today, or he could tell us a lot more about what's going on, but we have 2 young women that are competing on the national and Olympic levels, junior Olympic levels now, and they started out of this program. So very proud of them. We had 2 young ladies compete in our fashion show yesterday and got 1st and 3rd place. And we had a young man and a young lady that competed in the consumer decision making, where they're.
Oh, it turns out I know those 2 young ladies in that fashion show, don't I?
You did.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
It was a long day yesterday. I got a little bit of that story when I got home.
It was a long day. But we had 2 kids, consumer decision making. They're given like, say you buy tennis shoes. Well, they're given 4 different types of tennis shoes and what the need of those tennis shoes are. And they have to pick the one that's best for them or best for what their needs are. So we had 2 kids compete in that contest and place 9th and 35th out of, I think, 69 kids that were in their division. So, so the last 2 pages are just a rundown of all the things that I have coming up. We have water days coming up with local schools. We're doing a real world financial readiness with the high school, which is going to involve all the freshmen, all of the seniors, and part of the sophomores and juniors, and we'll have them, they'll go around to stations. They're given an occupation, they're given a monthly salary, and they have to go around to the different stations and decide what their living expenses are going to be, their groceries, their utilities, where they're going to live, what all that cost, auto costs, whether they're going to buy a car or lease a car, or not have a car. And then there's going to be a financial person there that goes over all that with them. And then they have to go back and regroup to see if they have to live at home or what they're going to have to do. It's fun to watch those kids, especially the freshmen, to say, oh, I'm living at home. I'm never moving. I can't afford it. So, but
If my children tell you that, please let them know that will not be the case.
but it's a really good program. And we're excited to be able to expand that this year and do it with so many of the kids out at the high school. And we have leather and grilling workshops coming up. We have 2 different ag tours coming up this summer. I've partnered with the Whitney Chamber of Commerce and the State Park to do wild wonders camps this summer with them. We're holding a statewide adult training, or anybody can come to it, for the Sport Fishing Project this fall. And then, of course, we've got our regular summer camps that we do and take our kiddos to in the summertime. So we're busy, we're going, and I greatly appreciate all of y'all's support and everything that y'all do for us, and Rhonda and our auditor for everything y'all do for us as well, and keep us rolling on all fronts. So I just appreciate everything that y'all do.
Thank you. Thank you for our coworkers for everything you do for the children in Hill
Sure
County. We do appreciate it.
We do have a golf tournament coming up. Our
Tell me
shooting,
about this. Well, you knew more than I did, so.
our shooting sports club program, they are having a fundraiser, May 21st. There's a golf tournament out here at the country club, and I don't have the flyer with me. I was going to bring it and left it laying on Leanne's desk, but I can get it. Okay.
Get us another copy. We'll get it posted around here.
Okay, will do.
Good deal. Thank you, Mr. Appreciate that.
Y'all have a great one.
Any other elected appointed official got anything to share with us this morning? If not, I'll do a quick run through. Hey, good to see you back from conference. You learned a lot last week? Wonderful, Rhonda, wonderful. This project is wrapping up in the courthouse. We're actually making headway thanks to Mr. Holmes' intervention. So this is, we're pretty much going to get done in the next couple of weeks. We'll be out of here. We'll get moving people back in. Site work started a week ago over at the Covington Street Annex. They're coming out doing surveying. Should have done with the previous folks. That project continues to move along. Lots of emails back and forth with the auditor, myself, just little ticky-tack things moving forward. The work is come to a standstill today, obviously, and yesterday because of the rain, but the AgriLife Extension building, they are laying forms, doing plumbing and all the kind of work there. As John alluded to, has been such a great help. But John was out at Huron the other day till 2 a.m. Sunday, making sure the bathroom stalls got taken care of before we started voting. We made a promise to those nice ladies that run the early vote for us that we would have bathrooms out there, and John helped us keep that promise. So thank you. That project moves along. The air conditioners are installed. The flooring will be the last major thing there. A little bit of touch-up work on sheetrock, the flooring and baseboard, but we'll get pretty close to that. We finally got work on the Woodrow Osceola water supply. They're getting ready to install the meter. They've managed to procure one, I guess, is the issue. They will do the road bore. Instead of getting a second meter, we will discuss, John's will discuss that with you regarding water supply to your building on that facility. So a lot of different things going on. As the chief alluded to earlier, the pins, the stray pins continue to move forward. So a lot of good things happening. We stay fairly busy, a lot of conversation about economic development. The number of subdivisions we're seeing is just off the charts. Every week, something else. Conversations yesterday regarding newer ones that we hadn't seen. So we continue to see the growth in the county. Talking with Ms. McClendon, who's the 911 coordinator. She was online this morning, I see. Still seeing about the same steady growth. It just people coming here left and right. So we'll continue to see that. Let's talk about burn ban real quick. It's something I'll pronounce. We expired burn ban last Thursday at the end of the 30 days. Do not think that we're out of looking at it, though. I will continue to review this, and should something approach us that we need to put a burn ban back in place, we will do so on a moment's notice. We're working with ESD #1 and fire departments. They're being good to advise us what they're actually seeing in the field. I want to say a huge thank you to the sheriff department on that. The enforcement of that was wonderful this time. One thing I will say to my volunteer firefighters, none of them present, obviously, if you call for a sheriff, don't disregard him. Let that sheriff deputy, him or her, come out to the scene, make the decision if they need to enforce that or not at that time. Otherwise, I think it's been a great joint effort amongst all parties to get that under control. And just by listening to the radio, I can tell you the volume of calls has dropped dramatically, and that was our goal. So otherwise, we've taken up enough time this morning. If you got any particular questions about anything going on in the county and I know about it, I'd be happy to talk with you. Otherwise, we're going to move into our public portion, which is our open forum. Is there anybody here to speak to the court on an issue that is not on our agenda this morning? If so, this is your opportunity to address the court. Please, if you would, limit your comments to 3 to 5 minutes in duration. And as we respect you, please show respect to the court. Going once, going twice. We're going to move into the consent agenda then. All right, consent agenda this morning. We have actions on the minutes of April 12th, 2022. We have action on invoices, action on payroll, and the monthly report for revenue and disbursement. If there's any single item that we need to discuss, we may pull it off for separate discussion. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to this agenda? Hearing no discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion shall carry unanimously. You got an email, I get a printout, so anybody that's interested in seeing this material at home, you can go online and find the majority of it. So just let you know that's out there. Now we're moving into our court orders. First is discuss and or approve the employee wage and status changes for this date. And the first of it, we see that we have Jennifer Chavez as with CSCD, and she is dual language, so wonderful. We're glad that she's aboard and we have that ability. Mr. Mickey Winkle is a backup patrol deputy. Okay, good deal. Grass isn't always greener, but I'm glad to see Mickey back. So rehire patrol deputy. Hannah Rose successfully completed her field training at the sheriff's office. Congratulations, Deputy Rose. And Robert Young obtained his peace officer, intermediate peace officer certification. So we appreciate him going out for that education. This is, you see these now, and I want to point this out because of the program that was requested and put in place by this commissioner's court. We see that our officers are striving to be better educated, better training, and it just provides better quality law enforcement, quite frankly, better quality peace officers in our community. So we appreciate everybody's partaking in this. That being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve the employee wage status changes for this date.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the employee wage status changes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion shall carry unanimously. Moving on to observe and record the monthly report from fee offices. We have before us a monthly report for fee offices in your packets from the auditor's office, treasurer's office, and many others' office. We have for the tax collection of $797,139.05 for last month. The one that I now look at nowadays, I think the most interesting is this, your second sheet. And what this is the fees associated with every OSSF permit that we have started in the unincorporated areas of the county. So you're looking at this today, we have 35. So 35 last month. That's 35 new septic systems in the unincorporated areas of the county. There were years we did not issue 35 permits, as I understand it. So, and that wasn't that long ago. Anyway, I'll quit harping on the growth thing, just let everybody know it's here. It's no longer coming, it is here. So I will entertain a motion to observe and record the monthly report from fee offices. Motion and a second to observe and record the monthly report of fee offices. Any discussion on those fee office reports? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Number 3, discuss and approve to authorize Judge Justin Lewis to, I don't know why I took these off, to sign the previously approved agreement to lease purchase the 2001 Chevrolet PPV Tahoe vehicles to American National Leasing. That wording is slightly incorrect. I will get a ruling from the referee. I think it should get us what we need to do for actually approving the financing, which is part of the overall agreement, but I will defer to counsel on this matter. She already sent the email last night about 9 o'clock. She was good. Yeah. I saw that. You sent that email at 5:30. What are you doing up at that hour? Got my sleep. Yes, sir, by all means. It is as follows. Discuss and or approve to authorize Judge Justin Lewis to sign the previously approved agreement to lease/purchase the 2021 Chevrolet PPV Tahoe vehicles through American National Leasing Company.
And Susan, your issue was, it's a financing agreement and not.
Well, it's fine. It's just really never been previously approved. that's the part that I, the agreement, we authorized the purchase of the vehicle, but we're just now signing the financing agreement.
Two separate things, agreement for purchase, one
Yeah,
for financing.
so I'm really good with it, but I would just like in the future to shore up that language a little bit.
No problem. So in the future, we will make sure that our language is a little more clear on this. So it's not just so ambiguous, but yeah, if we're doing financing, we'll say financing. If we're doing approval to buy, we'll do approval to buy, two separate contracts. Okay.
As I recall, there was discussion and it was decided how that would be split up in the two different budget years, wasn't it? Is that right?
This was the car that was wrecked in the pursuit of the kidnapping suspect. And when that accident happened, we tried to avert it, crashed and totaled the Tahoe. That was approved for us to replace that.
Correct.
We've done this same wording before, and it's been approved previously. In fact,
Correct.
we had to go back and change it, and we changed it to this, is my understanding.
Correct.
And so this is the second time we've done
This
this
is just
exact
one
same
day
word.
where it says-
No, it's just that one different replacement. Yeah. So
They had some kind of number to it or something.
Yes.
yes, and that's the whole, that was a problem. They would give us documentation with this, and then we'd have this over here, and we have to make the two match in our records. And so we've got it corrected. I think we're good to go to take action today personally, but I want to make sure all other parties are good with that. And what we'll do next time this comes in, we'll just get together ahead of time with the language and shop it amongst everybody and make sure we're good. I still think that this is not ambiguous enough that we couldn't take action on it. As a matter of fact, I recommend to the court that we do approve this for signature and finance. All right, so I guess that's my motion then apparently, and Commissioner Lake makes a second on this matter. But thank you, and we will clean up that language for in the future. It's easy to work with that. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. And is there any other discussion on this? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, the noes know it. We approved it. Okay. Moving along, it's number 4 is observe and record the annual report, the 2021 annual report of the Child Protective Services Board. We have a report, it's kind of a rundown of their activities. We'll get to the financials in a second. But April, due to COVID, they were unable to have a traditional Go Blue Day celebration. This is last year, not this year. They were unable to have the Go Blue, which we missed because we always love giving those kids tours of the courthouse. It's such a great time for us and for them, I think. So in June, the CPS Staff Appreciation Picnic Luncheon was hosted. That was a great turnout for that matter. In November, and there's more detail in all of this, and obviously this is part of the public record now, it's approved so that you guys can read it. In November, the National Adoption Month, they do a great job for Adoption Month, 17 adoptee families that they were honored at the Old City Hall. They had a guest speaker at that. So during December, the Christmas season is the board's most cheerful time of year. Many local businesses, groups, and citizens stepped up this year to make things special. The board is fortunate that little was spent from our funds to grant Christmas wishes for the kids and families. Other wish items were purchased from our fundraising with the help of donors and board members. I want to tell you, they only put 4 months on here. That's not all these folks did. They're being really humble. These folks have gone out of their way to support these kids in need in Hill County. You couldn't ask for a better group of child protective county welfare board folks than we have. They're constantly looking for members that can add to their group and add to the services they provide the Hill County kids. I'm just really proud of the folks that are standing up. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Or motion. I should have a motion to observe and record. Forgive me. Your motion stands. Your second stands. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Moving along to number 5, observe and record Hill County CPS Treasurer's Report for March of 2022. So the month ending 34 in March, they had public donations of $346.61, clothing allowance from us for $13,200. A Go Blue Day brought in $140.40 in income. So I'm sorry, forgive me. Let me back up on that. It was $346.61 in income. Expense, we had $13,220 in the spring 22 clothing allowance. We spent $13,220 on kids that needed clothes. It is. I'm glad you gentlemen support this. We also ask the rest of our community to support this in any way they can. These kids are in desperate need, and these folks are doing all they can for them. Go Blue Day, which is, we did celebrate this year in April, the National Child Abuse Prevention Month. We made the proclamation, spent approximately $140.40 on it, about $58 in postage. So bringing their total expense to $13,913.52, which is a little higher than normal. But anyway, they're doing what they're supposed to be, and I would recommend this to court to observe and report the Hill County CPS 4 Treasurer's Report for March of 2022. Motion second, all in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed, motion carries. Moving along to bonds, we have Miss. I don't know what I can disclose and not on that, maybe a number I can.
Yeah, I haven't heard a number like that.
Almost like at one time they came and it was right at 100.
I can say this for surety, and historically, there have been times it's been over 100 children we're providing services to through that organization. It is for a county of approximately 37,000 people. That's incredible. So, all right. So Angela Buck, back to bonds. Angela Buck's juvenile probation officer. We have her bond today, and that will be the only bond before us.
Make a motion for the bond.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye, all opposed, motion carries, bond stand approved. Number 7, discussion or action on Texas TX Hill 2 LLC project. We have our Economic Development Council, Mr. Mike Dixon, with us this morning. Mr. Dixon, you have the con.
Well, I never have got used to saying that something's funny.
You might need protection from these fellows. That one bites. I got a copy of mine here. Oh, you know who's gonna need one of those?
Anybody need a copy?
The extra?
This, what you've been handed is a proposed, it's not the final tax abatement agreement. The way the law is set up, we have to approve a proposed agreement and the judge has to send it out to the surrounding tax jurisdictions. And then we have to put out a 30-day notice, which the county clerk signs and puts on the bulletin board, and we also put on the website. Giving a 30-day notice of when the final tax abatement agreement is going to be considered. This is Hill Hill Solar 2 LLC. It's affiliated with Hill Solar 1 LLC. We created reinvestment zone number 7. They are, Hill County 2 is wanting to develop more of number 7 with solar farm, storage and transmission.
I understand they're going to add a battery facility to this, an electrical storage facility, I think.
There's some storage facility to this, some battery elements. It's to produce 200 megawatts. And the capital investment will be somewhere around $200 million.
200,000. We're going to talk
Yeah,
about that.
$200 million. Okay.
Is that an addition to what they're going to do anyway?
What now?
Is that an addition to what they first?
Yeah,
proposed?
that's in addition to the one they already did.
So that gets them what, 650 or something like that?
So the first one is 400 megawatts and 400 million.
Correct.
Solar panels on the second one will be 200 million. And the battery component could potentially add an additional 225 million.
Batteries ain't cheap is what you're telling me.
Maybe or not.
Wow.
I know that we changed our percentages. The issue with using those percentages on this is that we created reinvestment zone number 7. When you create a reinvestment zone, at the time, everybody has to be treated equally that comes into that reinvestment zone. So they would have to be on the same level as Hill Solar 1 as far as the percentages. This is just a weird situation where they had more of the reinvestment zone left over.
Mhm.
And they finally got the leases and stuff they needed to come in and do it, but the changed percentages will apply to anybody new that comes in and applies now, and you've seen that it has many.
There's some interest.
Yeah, but this, and I sent the judge the portion of the law that said this out of the code, and it says that everybody in the reinvestment zone has to be treated equally. And so that's why we create small reinvestment zones that only apply to certain organizations, because you don't, I've seen people create large reinvestment zones and then have a problem later whenever, there's a different entity comes in that doesn't provide nearly as much investment, but or as much as they needed service, and then you have to give them the same percentages.
Okay. So the proposed order, it will have to, and I'm gonna sum this up, and forgive me if I get any of this wrong. Any proposed order with Hill County or Tex Hill 2 LLC is going to have the same percentages that we gave original Tex Hill 1 LLC project. Okay, we know that, that's the law, it is what it is. Anything going forward, though, that creates a new reinvestment zone from last Tuesday has to apply to the new amount.
Right, exactly.
Good, okay.
Exactly, and it's not Tex Hill, it's Hill Solar 2 LLC.
We got a problem there.
Well, it doesn't matter how it's on the
Okay,
agenda.
okay.
I mean, it's got the basic name in it. It's just that we added to the name.
Okay, we
No.
just want to get that right on subsequent agendas.
Right. And again, this is just a proposed agreement that will be sent out to the other entities. They haven't you already did your 313 with the school?
Yes, sir, on those sort of we have as well.
Which school district, you don't mind me asking?
Itasca.
Itasca, okay.
So they've got their 313 with Itasca, which is a good deal for the school district, which makes it, that is a lot of times a major push for the county to do it just because they want the school district.
And this is just for everybody's memory, I'm sorry if I didn't clarify. This is the project that takes up part of the 4K ranch, the Rawson. Forgive me, there were some other properties between the splits up on the hill.
Yes, that's right. And this acre in particular is entirely the Rawson piece of the kind of western boundary there. It was put into the second phase really because the minerals are more complex on this, so it's not a different time. It's about a year behind our phase 1, which is actually going pretty quickly, and we're anticipating we could start construction end of this year, early next year.
And
So
okay,
excited about it.
good. But he's a court member, Mr. Rawson obviously came in and spoke in favor of this project.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Davis, thank you. I couldn't come up with his name.
And as with the other agreements, this has a road protection agreement where during construction, if they damage the road with any of the big equipment, they have to either fix it, or they have to pay you to fix it. So we have that in there.
And that's a big thing for us, is making sure that we protect the roads, the taxpayers' money we put into those roads. We've seen what happens when we can't protect them. We don't want to go there. So. All right, you guys, questions about this proposed agreement? This is not a final agreement. This is simply proposed. Yes, sir.
We met with the other solar farm. The firefighters and responders were concerned about.
Yes.
About how to respond if there was a fire at one of these properties. We're doing a training with the one down south in August when they get their first part. But if we're bringing in something else with batteries, I'd like to see something in writing where they will provide training for our first responders.
Because otherwise our policy is going to stand back 3 miles and watch it burn.
Yes. We agree.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Why don't y'all get a card?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll share.
All right, any other questions? Good question. Thank you for the commentary. Any other questions regarding this? Commissioner, it's your precinct, your thoughts?
It seems to be the other one is going quite well, and this is just gonna be on the south side of 934, so I don't see a problem with it. Mr. Davis, I talked to him last week, and he seemed excited about it, so.
Are they constructing any kind of retention ponds for flooding or?
No, the development they'll be doing really won't result in much water displacement. Now, I may be talking out of place, are you doing detention ponds?
When we bring the engineering, procurement, and construction contractor on site, there are federal requirements for a spill prevention, control, and countermeasures plan that includes retaining all stormwater on the site and testing it to make sure that there's no pollution in it before it's allowed to discharge.
Okay,
So that's.
well, so you're under even stricter guidelines. than
Yeah,
what
there will
we
be a process of putting that together and issuing it. We also have a similar pollution control plan, both are federally mandated. So yes, we will be in compliance.
But that's a lot of concerns I've had from landowners, farm owners about so much glass standing there and so much water hitting it one time before to go. It's gonna be a lot of water falling at one time.
Yeah, I don't know that the structures would be the problem. It's more the the batteries and stuff like that they're looking at as pollution, but structures have a very minimal.
Yeah, drive a piece of I-beam in the ground.
Yeah. So.
At least that's what it looks like down south here, so that's precisely. Okay. All right. Other questions, concerns, motions?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proposed agreement with the proper name, Hill Solar 2 LLC.
Right.
Okay. That is a motion in front of us. Is there any further discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon. Appreciate your time today. And we will get with you after this to make sure that we've got all the proper parties that we need to notify. And this applies with.
Well, I need to have a chat with just a second.
Okay, well, we'll get that in just a minute. So number 8, discuss and approve one-time credit card purchase, Hill County Commissioner Precinct 3 to purchase concrete for a fuel storage tank.
I just thought I'd bring it before the court, this is just be a one-time purchase of a credit card, so doing a credit app and whole 9 yards that we'll never use. Pay on site, we got a 4 slab store, put our storage tanks on.
You're being in compliance with the state and federal law. I will make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
All right, motion in a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 9, discuss and approve to place a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign on Live Oak Loop. I have been requested, and the commissioner has been informed as well, to place 30-mile-an-hour on Live Oak Loop. There was an accident the other day. That is one of those older subdivisions that Andy's really got the road in good shape, so people can do 60 miles an hour without damaging a vehicle. Unfortunately, somebody the other day doing 60, which was really a stupid thing to do, T-boned somebody else along with the trees. I've been informed that there is a Hill County Sheriff's Officer that did not approach me, just to let you know that, but he'll be glad to enforce those things from his front porch as well. So anyway, Commissioner, your thoughts on this?
I don't know. Problem with I could have already put up a sign that I thought prima facie speed limit on any farm market, or any of those roads out there are 60 miles an hour because it comes off of the farm market road. But I have no problem with it. In fact, I got one guy sitting on go the minute he's fast as he's going to start putting up signs.
Okay, my understanding is we have to post this for public hearing, then come back after said public hearing and make this happen. So what I'd like to do right now, since everybody pull out your calendar, and we have to post for a minimum of 20 days in the transportation code. Am I incorrect about that?
It's 21.
20, it's an interesting number. So might I suggest then that we look at the second meeting, just to be safe, in May, which would be the 24th, and the 24th day of May, that we set a hearing and that we go ahead and get that posted tomorrow. That way we have plenty of time, post that notice, and it's going to be the entirety of that Live Oak, correct? Yeah. Yes, good. Okay, no problem, no problem. I think it's a good thing. So, so what I would like to do then, it'd be my motion that we hold a public hearing at 8:30 a.m. on the 24th day of May, 2022, in regards to placing a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit on the entirety of Live Oak Loop, and that accordingly, the notice of that meeting be posted tomorrow.
Does it mean?
It's got one entrance and one exit on that road, correct?
Right.
Because it's a loop.
I don't know, but it has to be, does it have to be posted on the road or just?
I think it's gonna be posted on the road as well. Yeah, we'll get with David. He's got a form that's put up second. So good deal. That's my motion. Second. Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 10, discussion to approve a final plat for Ivy Ranches. Gentlemen, this has gone through our process. Ivy Ranch Estates. We have taken it to preliminary, previously approved. It has gone back to final, and the Development Committee has recommended its approval to this body. Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve a final plat for Ivy Ranch Estates. Anything you want to say? No? Okay. In which case, we'll call this is one that was in precinct 4 that we went back, we had concerns about the culverts and they changed it, and so we're good. Okay.
It's right across from the solar farm.
Right across from the solar farm. You guys gonna get some new neighbors, man. All right. All right.
Do they know?
Well,
this is the solar farm we're building right now, not this one.
Yes, so, okay.
Because this is on the north side. Theirs is on the south side.
This will be, yeah. All right, in which case, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And gentlemen, going back to the rules, I'm not trying to cut you out all the fun of chasing everybody down for signatures, but our rules simply say a signature block for the county judge and the county clerk. So that's how we're interpreting it at this point. So if you guys want to sign every last one of these from now until eternity, I am happy to bring the rules before you to amend them so that we do so. Otherwise, we're going to start just enforcing the portion that says county judge and county clerk.
I'm good, 200 signatures a week's enough for me.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of fun?
For example.
Okay. All right, here we go. And then next, we have a discuss and or approve a preliminary plat for Mesquite Ridge subdivision. Mesquite Ridge subdivision is located at 2128 Whitney, Hill County, Texas. And it is Baker Opportunity Properties LLC is the name of the individuals. This again has gone through our plat review committee and has been approved as preliminary plat and recommended to the court for their approval.
Make a motion, please.
Second. Motion and a second to approve.
Box Culvert Road.
Box Culvert Road, there you go. Any further discussion?
There's about 100 of them.
Hearing no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion shall carry. That takes care of that. Number 12, discuss and approve an application for credit with Heat Transfer Solutions, Direct Expansion Solutions, and VRF Services of Texas.
What is that?
You know, these are the kind of questions I have myself. I don't have a briefing on it and I don't know what it is. So it got put on the agenda without a briefing. I can't intelligently speak onto it. So unless somebody knows, I'd like to pass this until the next meeting.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna pass it then. Number 13, discuss and or action allowing the sale of fireworks in Hill County for Memorial Day. As you may or may not be aware, there are certain times in the year that we are required to sell fireworks. The state law says it's the default position. That would be 4th of July and that Christmas, New Year's holiday. In order to ban fireworks at those times, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. However, a couple of years ago, the Texas legislature adopted a couple other times you can actually apply to the commissioner's court, get the court's approval to sell fireworks. Those being certain holidays, Texas Independence Day, Memorial Day, that may be another one here I'm missing. So my question is, and I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm going to, does the ESD have a position on the sale of fireworks for the Memorial Day holiday?
Not really doing any research into it.
We're looking at May 30th is what we're looking at here.
May 30th.
Yeah, May 30th.
Honestly, the big thing is gonna be, I would say, weather conditions. Just looking at, I mean, the 4th of July, usually we've had rain around that time. Christmas time frame, it's usually not that dry also. But normally we've had more rain and then it goes into a small dry season and we move on, so.
This has been requested by a vendor, and I just want to be very, very clear about that. Should this court approve this, I'm not taking a position one way or the other there. If it's dry, I will ban the use of fireworks in this county before we burn it down. So you may go into business and sell a bunch of fireworks, and you may never get to use those until 4th of July. I mean, just want to point that out, simply because we would allow the sell them doesn't guarantee to allow the use of them. Just in case anybody had a question about that. I don't mean to stand in the way of commerce. I just want to make sure that we've discussed this, and we have to take action today if we're going to allow it for the sale of Memorial Day fireworks.
If the wind keeps blowing and it doesn't rain, it'll be just as dry.
It'll be a
as
tender.
it was a couple of weeks ago.
It'll be a tender box.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it the authorization to sell going to be implied for use?
No, it's just the authorization to sell. I still have time to ban the use of. No, I agree. That's the reason I'm pointing that out, is some people would think, hey, I said you could sell, so now I can't ban the use. No, we can still ban the use.
Are there any other benefits to the county as far as?
I don't have any tax receipts off the fireworks sales that I'm aware of. Nothing substantial, to say the least. So I don't see the benefit. I'll be honest with you. No offense to anybody, I don't see the benefit here.
I love fireworks.
Yeah, me too.
That time of year, yeah.
I love not having my hay pastures burned. That's personal preference. Any further discussion on this? I don't see anybody making a motion
This
to
is something
approve
we
it.
gotta take really seriously. The amount of
Yeah,
people that are moving into this county. They're outgrowing our fire departments rapidly.
yes, sir.
Water availability is not getting any better.
No, it's
Not in your part of the world yet. We're trying to help White Bluff. You guys will be next.
I'm just talking about even for fire departments to bring water to a situation.
Exactly,
We're draining wells that we could use it for drinking water,
exactly.
just to fight a fire that may not even be there.
Well, I'm not hearing a lot of support for this idea. We have a motion to deny. So we have a motion and a second to deny the sale of fireworks for the Memorial Day holiday. I mean, we all will, and I get it. There's people that want to make money selling fireworks, but no offense to those. I'm sure they're fine people. They have to look out for the best interest of the entire county. And just seeing how dry this year is shaped up so far, if we started off a year like 2012 where it rained every 5 days, hey, sell them. But this year, I think we're going to have, and because the law requires us to act with such, so far in front of the actual sell date, I can't take a chance on this one. So that's my commentary on it. So we have a motion and a second to deny the sale of fireworks in Hill County for Memorial Day holiday. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Any abstentions? Motion shall carry. Number 14, discuss an action to modify the Hill County Hazard Mitigation Plan to include adding action for installing or purchasing generators for critical facilities for winter events. There is some hazard mitigation grant program monies out there. We go through this very expensive and time consuming every 5 years to renew our grant. Obviously, we try to anticipate everything that's going to happen, but sometimes we don't. So we have language in that grant, in that hazard mitigation plan right now for generators for certain buildings, but not other critical facilities, AKA water wells, things like that. The reason we're asking you to amend is, we'll get into the next action item. It's a simple amendment. Tom will take care of the paperwork. We sign off on the resolution, and we're going to redo this plan in 2 years or 2.5.
It's two. But we'll probably start the process of the year. It takes so long to get this one done.
It took literally 6 months just to get people off center to get that going at the state and fed levels to get it approved. So
All we're doing is just adding one paragraph to the plan. It's just a mitigation action for something that's already in the plan. So it's a simple process.
the addition of this makes us eligible for certain grants. So I have a motion and a second to approve a modification of the Hill County Hazard Mitigation Plan to include and adding action for installing or purchasing generators for critical facilities. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions, motion carries. This is why we had to do that. Number 15, discuss an action request the city of Carl's Corner for the county to apply for a hazard mitigation grant on the city's behalf. The city of Carl's Corner, for whatever reason, under previous administration, was the only municipality in Hill County that did not participate in our hazard mitigation plan. They have a terrible problem up there. Their water well can't keep up with what they've got going on. They got water storage. However, they also had a really bad outcome out of Winter Storm Uri. So they've got a new mayor. They have been hustling. They've got a lot done with limited funding, but they are asking for the opportunity to apply for this grant, this hazard mitigation grant. Unfortunately, they can't apply themselves because previous mayor did not sign off on this. With us amending our hazard mitigation plan, we can now apply on their behalf. There is precedent for this. We've done this before for other water supply systems. We apply on their behalf. It's a little extra work for us, but it helps all of Hill County when everybody does well. It would be my recommendation that we approve a request by the city of Carl's Corner for the county to apply for a hazard mitigation grant on the city's behalf and allow the county judge to sign all necessary paperwork and resolutions for that application.
So it's your motion, you're the one that has to do the paperwork.
I got to do all the work, guys. So,
I got a question.
yes, sir.
If this grant comes through and we do purchase a generator that can run a water well, will it be available countywide or is it just?
No, this one's going to be directed specifically for the city of Carl's Corner. There's some really weird and wonky rules in this federal stuff. But speaking of countywide generators, we are on the hunt for 3-phase generators right now that we might possibly, we know where one is on wheels. We don't know that it's big enough to run a lot of the water supply systems, but that's something going forward. Also, by amending our grant, it allows Tom to enter grants for the county as well, which I think we'll be bringing back before you before the 30th of June, which is the deadline to file a generator grant. There's a considerable amount of hazard mitigation money out there. Talking to the state, they usually have 100 to 120 applicants. As of last Friday, they had 14. So odds are good. We should apply.
Any liabilities on our?
No, they'll be on the hook so liabilities. If they misspend the funds, we would be on the hook for that, but then we have recourse of going after them. I feel pretty confident that Mayor Ezell is a straight up person. You know, they've done everything they said they're going to do to date. There's a lot of checks and balances, but yes, technically, if they were to abscond with the funds, we would be responsible for said funds for making sure we got those funds back.
But they're responsible. Once the generator's in place, they're responsible for the upkeep and maintenance.
Correct. It's theirs. It's not ours.
If it blows up and leaks down in their water system, they can come after us.
Correct. We made very clear we're applying for this on their behalf. They will be the ultimate recipients. It said we just have to be the party. Think of us as the fiscal agent here. We're the ones that have to apply on their behalf. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's their generator, their problem. Yes, ma'am.
What about, is there any cost sharing, or I think the last hazard mitigation grant was like 75 or 85%?
75.
They have to come up with the money. We are not coming up with any additional money on their behalf. So they'll have to provide it. Yes, sir.
So, question, so for the generator, how often are they gonna use it? Is it possible to get with like possibly solar and a battery? And
See, those are questions Justin doesn't have the answer to, unfortunately.
I got you.
But I mean, it's a great question. You're right. I have difficulty judging the project on the merits, you know, not knowing the actual need, but like every water supply system in Hill County, how often do we use a generator? I don't have the answer to that one. I do know that occasionally we do need generators, but is it the best and greatest use of funds to leave a single generator set at one water supply? Or would it be better off to have something more mobile that we could possibly move around the county? From the county standpoint, if we were to apply, I would want something, if it was that purpose, that was mobile, that could move around. But the city of Carl's Corner, obviously a different entity sees it different. They're not looking at it that way.
We're talking large generator. We're not talking about something.
Semi-truck.
Yeah.
Size of dry van, semi-trucks. It would be huge.
This well deep in the ground. And
It's 150 horse, 3-phase. They told us the KW, but I don't recall.
480.
No way. That's got to be voltage.
That may be wrong.
Yeah, it's good. It's 40 voltage.
100 to 100 kV.
100 KW. Yeah, it's like, man, 40. Our quarter of Hillsborough with that.
This one that pumps 8 gallons a minute.
This well is slow. It's sub 10 gallons a minute.
They're adding.
Yeah.
They're also adding tanks.
So what they did is they went out and negotiated a deal. I mean, literally, Mary Zell is out there laying concrete herself, and they got this old well with a small tank. They're building a new pressure tank building. I want to call it that. It housed a generator in as well. It has to be housed inside. And then they went off and negotiated for a 53,000 gallon tank. They got for that amount of money. They worked it out to install the tank. And what they're in the process of doing now is doing the plumbing, which is about $75,000. And they're going to plumb the old system into the new tank and fill it at night when demand is low. And then once they get that tank full, they believe they can turn it on. Marysville presented to us that there are times where 2 to 3 days a week, they don't have consistent water in the community of Cross Corner, Texas. And they have,
I can see that. In the shower.
so they're looking for the generation. They're also looking, I think, at some other grants for wells. But they got problems and they know it and they're working. So they're just asking for our help applying for this one. And I'll just be honest, there's no guarantee they're gonna get this grant. We have not been particularly successful in getting hazard mitigation funds in the past. So.
But we definitely have to do that out of the state, so I think it's something.
Yeah. We have a motion and second, do we? No, we do not. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Montgomery, a second from Commissioner Lake to approve, as mentioned, approve the aforementioned motion. All right, any further discussion on this topic? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, any abstentions? It will pass. Number 16, discussion action on advanced funding agreement for bridge replacement and rehabilitation of state system. They have been sending me an email every day, 7 days a week at 3:25 a.m. in the morning about this stinking agreement. We're going to terminate this because we've already replaced that bridge, correct?
We have replaced that bridge with a Yoder.
This will be the happiest moment of my day after we vote and approve this, that I can quit getting that email.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that,
Make a motion.
so we have a motion, and a second to terminate an advanced funding agreement for bridge replacement and or
It
rehabilitation.
had to been done soon, if not before they started engineering. We'd been charged for the engineering. That's the reason I canceled it 3-4 months ago.
Correct. And if we let them go through engineering, we'd be on the hook for tens of
Yeah.
thousands of dollars with the engineering. So, okay. A motion, and a second to terminate said agreement. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, the noes know it. Number 17, ladies and gentlemen, is hold a closed session under provisions of section 551072 of the Government Code deliberations regarding real property and section 551087 economic development Bucky's Hillsborough LLC. Ladies and gentlemen, I will ask everybody but the representative from Bucky's and representative from the city and our council